The police have many different sniffer dogs used for drug searching, explosive searching, and forensic semen searching. The dogs are trained in scenarios made to be as realistic as possible in many different locations, such as on the streets, in recreational parks, fields, and inside many different buildings. Many different breeds of dogs are used as sniffer dogs, as all dogs possess over 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses, and the part of the dog's brain which is devoted to analysing smells is over 40 times stronger than an average human's. Drug detection dogs are used to search and find a variety of different drugs in public places. The drugs vary from Class A to C. Real drugs are used during the training, handled appropriately by the handlers, but they use just a minute amount of each drug. At the start of the training, a handler is sent to hide a drug somewhere. The police will try to hide the drugs in some difficult places, as this is what criminals would try. Once the drugs are hidden, the trainer who hid them will stay near the scene to make sure no one takes them, although not somewhere so obvious that it will give the drug's hidden position away. The dog keeps its head and body low to the ground to be able to trace or find the smell of any drugs easily. As the dog finds the smell, its body posture will begin to change, becoming increasingly more excited to find the source. They're trained to get as close to the drug as possible, to make it easier for the police to find the drug. Once they do, they're rewarded with their favourite toy or treat, and a small playtime and cuddle. Any bad behaviour is ignored and not punished. These dogs are trained to sniff out and find a variety of different explosive materials, from homemade to professionally made. Similar to the drug search, a handler will hide explosive material, but will also hide some empty bags and containers to try and trick or distract the dog into thinking they may have found something. This is where the training comes in, to make sure the dog knows the difference. As with drug training, the dogs are taught with only small amounts of explosive material. The difference with explosive detection compared with the drug detection is that the dog is not allowed to touch the explosive or to get so close he could possibly touch it. When the dog finds an explosive, they are to sit down looking at the area. It doesn't matter what height the explosive is at, the dog will find it, such as finding the explosive in a light fitting. During every training session, the dog must be put through a computer-generated test. At each meter, a container has a different object, food or explosive material inside. The dog's job is to distinguish between the explosive material and something else. This is done several times, changing the order and sometimes not including any explosive. The forensic dog is trained to find human semen. This is very useful for providing proof for many different court cases. For the training, the police use the University of Derby Forensic House. In most cases, the semen is placed a day before the training, although this dog was looking for samples placed months before. The dog will narrow the smell down as closely as possible, turning into small squares. Just like the drug detection dog, they're taught to get as close as possible to make it easier for the police to recover a sample.
Joey, find it. Joey. Good boy.
The general purpose dogs are mainly German Shepherds because of their size and strength. These dogs are called general purpose because they're used for a variety of different uses, such as searching for runaway criminals, stolen property, or even chasing and taking down a suspect, but they also go through basic training and agility. During a training session, the handlers and trainers will pick what skill they need to work on. During a pursuit scenario, the dog will be put through a series of different training methods. One is to track a scent, searching for runaway criminals.
Go on, get it!
Another use is to chase, and in some cases capture a suspect.
Raise it up, stop for your little again. Stop. What are you? Go on, send your dog, I'm killing. Come on, man, send him.
The dogs are trained to stop if the suspect stops. And the dogs are also trained to be called back at any time for public safety.
Kaiser! What's this? Oh boy! What a good boy!
During a search for lost or stolen property, the trainers will hide a variety of everyday items within an area, and the dog will then be asked to search for these objects. But all the training leads to a good playtime and a cuddle afterwards.